All right, welcome back to Bye Guys Crypto Show, episode 7, where mania rules, caution drools. We play the fools for your viewing pleasure. I'm Raff.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Stu.
And we talk crypto all day, every day. It's the American way, baby. Usually once a week on a Monday we get together, but hey, it was 4th of July celebration. Happy Independence Day. Hope you all enjoyed it. We're here for episode 7. This show is 20% Triscuits, 30% wheat thins, 50% club crackers. Yeah, what does that mean? It means it's not financial advice, people. It's just 3 old fraternity brothers kicking around some crypto, having fun, learning and earning as we do. So let's talk about the markets. Let's jump right in, Jeffrey. Pull them up.
All right, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. So we'll take a look at the markets and kind of a sideways week for the last week. We haven't really gone anywhere, which I guess considering recent months, not a bad thing. If we're not going down considerably, that's not terrible. But Bitcoin right around 34,000. Ethereum has seen a nice little bump here in the last couple of days.
I'm digging that one.
Maybe the word got out that Raff has it in his portfolio for moon bulls, and it just sent the market, north. So
That's right.
yeah, Ethereum's doing well. We've got, gosh, I can't believe Dogecoin is in the top 10 still. It's just
Disturbing.
crazy. XRP absolutely hasn't moved from its 60/70s spot for what seems to like 2 months. I don't know if it's going to move for.
It's like a tightly coiled snake. It might not make it before the end of this contest, but I am convinced this cycle that's going at probably 5 to 10x.
I hope you're right. I think we all do. Cardano, ADA, doing pretty well. It's hanging in there. Actually saw a couple nice days this past week. Then you've got rounding out the top 10, Polkadot and Uniswap. I do want to call attention and see if you guys have anything to add on this, but the two projects or 2 coins that in the last 2-3 days have seen the largest gains. I'm going to call 2 of them out. Uniswap and down here, Aave.
Holy
30%.
smoke, wow, 30%.
What do both of those have in common?
They're not in my portfolio.
That's same. Stu, it's a little trivia to start.
Probably a similar ecosystem. What are they in?
They're both DeFi projects, major DeFi players. So I don't know. Maybe there's something to be said for really big DeFi projects, and Ethereum is the chain that most of those DeFi projects have a relationship or built on. So I don't know. Maybe there's something to be said for that. We'll go over and take a look at market cap like we always do and just see where we have come in the last week. It's actually, let's see, 1.45 trillion. And I think I clicked the wrong thing here. So what is it? 1.3 trillion.
We're up a little bit.
Yeah,
we had a nice pump the middle of the week. I felt like I was getting some traction. I was making up some ground. Ethereum in particular was up. And I was really excited to see these numbers. I'm curious how it's all going to turn out. The running of the bulls. I want to get to that.
That's the mindset everybody has. One day you think it's up, the next it's down. I read a nice article. I think it's applicable to both of you gentlemen because you're travelers up and down the East Coast. It's well documented. And then I thought of you when I read it. A gentleman said that if you plan to take a vacation in July, it's good timing. That's it. I think we'd be well served just to kind of close off the app and come back to crypto in August. But we'll see. We'll see. Up, down.
Let me just say, for the buy guys, this is the time to accumulate. I know it's boring. It's up, it's down 5%, 10%, down 5, down 10. Look at that. It's basically sideways for a week. Look, that's the perfect thing, man. When everyone is not paying attention, that's when you should be dollar cost averaging. And that's what we're going to do. And that's what we're going to continue to do. That's the buy guy way.
Amen.
So what's some news you can use, man? I mean, what's going on in the world that got your attention?
So I got to go to our slide because it's a cool looking slide. So news you can use, sideways week, not a whole lot going on. The China FUD is kind of behind us a few weeks back. And speaking of boring, like what's kind of boring? Institutional investing, not a flashy, Elon Musk topic or, Mark Cuban buying something, but just talking about institutional adoption isn't real sexy a topic. But in an article that we pulled this week to take a look at, Hopefully you guys can see this here. So Institutional Asset Manager published a report this week, and it just basically highlights institutional investors are increasingly focused on cryptocurrency and digital assets. So I want to pull a couple stats out here from this survey, and it revealed that 82% of these surveyed institutions, these financial institutions based in the UK, US, France, and Germany, and the United Arab Emirates, 82% expected to increase their exposure between now and 2023, so over the next 2 years, in cryptocurrency. 4 out of 10 said they will dramatically increase their holdings, and only 1% said they would sell their entire holding. 7% said they'd reduce their exposure. So,
Daddy like.
Tell me what you guys think about this, because this is really where the cliff or moon cycle or whatever you want to call it is. This is the threshold that needs to be jumped over or crossed. Thank you. I was trying to find a good word there, but this is it. This is really everything. Once the institutions full bore jump in, that's when I think we're going to see massive adoption, and obviously all the retail investors will follow. So what do you guys think here?
I think it goes back to the last week's conversation. We touched on it, the idea of long-term growth, the emerging market that people are finally starting to recognize, the increasing confidence in crypto potential, all of those things, and more than probably anything, just the overall understanding of crypto, I think, lends itself to what you just read. A little bit of it. I mean, certainly there's more to it, but I think those elements certainly factor into again, more folks looking to increase rather than decrease their exposure to crypto.
Meanwhile, I sent you guys a text earlier this week. I'm probably not going to find it in time because I'm pulling it up in live at the moment. And basically, it was a story that some institutions calling for Bitcoin to drop down to 25K. And I'm thinking, this is interesting. I think we're being like played a little bit, my friends. I think they're saying, hey, on the one side of their mouth, we see this asset going down. If you're in retail, man, you want to get out of this thing. You don't want to lose anymore. Cut your losses and run. On the other hand, we see stories like this. These very same institutions that are forecasting a lower Bitcoin cost to scare people and get them out are just waiting there to scoop it all up in mass. So I'm telling you, man, stay the course, hold the line, gobble it up like Pac-Man, because this is the time right now. And I just have confidence, all the confidence in the world, that months from now and years from now in particular, we're all going to be sitting on these fat stacks, and they're going to be worth a lot more than they are today. So that's my big takeaway. I'm excited by this. I just don't like the double speak, because you get some other institutions like talking it down, and that's not cool from my perspective.
So Raff, what was the environment around institutional adoption a couple of years ago when you first got in?
Well, I think it was absurd. And first of all, you should remember, I'm not sophisticated at all. I didn't know what a market cap from a market, draft beer. I don't know from a draft, what was that called? Fantasy draft. The point is, I don't know what I'm talking about. And I just got in because I had some friends in it, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I was I kind of lucked out. I'll be very honest with you. But if you had said back then to take this stuff seriously, nobody took it seriously. No one thought this could ever become something that, for instance, universities could put in their endowments, or retirement funds could invest in, right? To like have some diversity of risk allocation. This wasn't even on the radar. Any of those institutions that did it, I'd like to find out if some of them did some nonprofit organization or some university or some institution take a risk here, put some money in, even just like 0.5%, right? If you had $100 million in your endowment and you put just a small portion in 10 years ago, you'd be sitting on a mad stack right now. So I wonder if there's a story out there just waiting to be told. But yeah, to your point, back in the day, which wasn't that long ago for me, 5-6 years ago, this all seems absurd. Like the type of coverage we're getting in the media, the type of excitement. I mean, heck, all the YouTube celebrities in this space really have emerged over the past 1 to 2 years, as far as I can tell. There's some old school personalities, don't get me wrong, but I mean, this stuff is just really starting to take off and get mainstream. So pretty exciting to see. A lot different than what it was last cycle.
Yeah, that's what excites me the most about it. I mean, I genuinely feel, again, investment opinion, not investment advice from us, but I feel as though this technology in this revolution is certain, right? It's unavoidable, and it's just a matter of time until it's seen as a. And I think we're getting there, right? The market's maturing. You hear more people buying it. You hear more institutional investment taking place. You hear more, major both celebrities and investors buying companies and partnerships, and it's unavoidable. I think that this eventually hits a certain critical mass. So that's what kind of excites me about it. And then you get all the utility along the way of things. We joke about AMP, but Stu can talk about some of the problems that AMP solves that there aren't solutions for right now. And the same thing can be said for all the things being built on Ethereum. So really excited about all that stuff.
Hey, this is also a really important thing we can discuss in future episodes, and maybe even bring on a guest or two in the last couple left here in the first season, because we have some, between the three of us, we have some pretty impressive contacts, people that are just starting to get in the space, like a lot of our viewers. And they have some key questions about this, right? I mean, we are sold on it. We're convinced. The buy guys are here buying every week, but there are other people out there that are starting to dip their toe, and they're just wondering if this is a whole like shell game. Doesn't make much sense to some. And I have to agree, there's some really interesting questions. You can really go down some rabbit holes on Reddit and other places and start buying everything you read. And you'd be like, let me throw my retirement, everything I got. I'm going to second mortgage on the house, put it on, man. It's ready to rock, is unstoppable. But I think that would be a mistake too. There's obviously a lot of risk here. We just don't know where it's going. And maybe
I like the idea of the guests. I like that. I think maybe those guests could help you, gentlemen, with your picks. Maybe they could offer some insight into how they get you guys back into the game here in a few weeks. Great idea.
That's a great segue to the running of the moon bowls. Let's check out the latest stats on this contest. We are now entering week 7 of the Moon Bowls contest. Just to remind folks, we started off, each of us, with $50, threw it into the crypto of choice that we thought would moon over the next 10 weeks. Hasn't gone well from the start, my friends. If you want to show us what the race looks like, I think we're all down, just to varying degrees. Stu, you're doing well by comparison, but not overall. And actually, you're down a little bit from last week. I think I'm making up some. I'm not doing well. I can't spin it. I can't spin it.
It's tough to spin it, Robert. Yeah,
it's tough to spin it. I've tried. I will tell you this. Very disappointed in the Intel's performance this week. I thought I had the inside scoop. V3 of the app came out, and it went up by about 30% for like 5 hours. And then I think people started to try to use it. I downloaded it to my phone. I tried to authenticate it with my cell phone, and it didn't work. I'm not in the market yet. It all seemed like a little bit of a smoke and mirrors. Look, I love Tel as a concept, remittances. You got to take out these old institutions, Western Union, they're gobbling up too much money, and there's like much better way to do this. I get it in principle, but I just thought I was going to go astronomical. I thought I was going to be like way ahead of the pack. So that didn't pan out for me. Disappointing week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and with AMP, I know I've talked to you both ad nauseum that, I'm trying to maybe go after something else, but it's kind of like Michael Corleone. I mean, just when I thought I was out, the AMP pulls me back in, and at 5.5 cents, I can't walk away from that because I know that it's in this competition. It's a solid 6 cent at worst coin or token. I know it. I know that's where they're at. So again, I'm gonna load up. I'm taking my AMP total from 2,900 to 3,380, and I know that there's a pathway for me. Okay, and I've run some numbers saying, listen, if it stays at 5.5, 6 cents, I'm gonna load up the next 2 weeks. I'll have over 4,000 tokens by the end of this thing. It's 6 cents minimum. At 6 cents, that's $240. That's before I even start talking about XRP. Okay, so the fact is, you boys need to find a way to 275, because if AMP doesn't do anything, I'm going to be there. Okay? I'm going to be at 275. So again, I have a few things that I want to kind of introduce, but for the sake of winning this competition, I have to, again, go back, put my $25 into AMP, and tell you to come get me.
Well, you know what I have to say? I have such mixed feelings about this. I want AMP to do well in the long run because, very candidly, you introduced me to the product here on this show, and I'm a buyer. I'm an owner. I hold AMP, just not in the Moon Bowls contest because that wouldn't do me any good. I'm an anti-AMP guy until, like, September. All right, I want that stuff to tank. And I'll keep buying it, by the way, over the next month or two. It's like on my
As you
weekly
should.
buy list. But so I'm just telling you, I don't think it's gonna do much. I think it has potential to crater here, just for short term.
I think his portfolio's lost the most in the last week. Is that
Like,
not? Am I looking at that right?
yeah, that's
That should
like
be extremely discouraging to both of you.
all eggs in one
That-
basket, man. I mean, it's a dangerous basket. It could be the basket that takes you to the victory lap, but I don't know, man.
It will.
It's a risk. Yeah, I like it. I like the way you roll the dice. I respect the commitment. I actually, I admire you from afar because I'm sitting back here pretty far.
I mean, it's really hard to be critical. He is beating us threefold and not losing.
All right. So what you got,
well
Jeff?
done.
What's your pick of the week?
Oh, this
So-
ought to be fun.
My pick, yeah, this week I'm gonna go in a little bit of a different direction. Like all of the institutions that we talked about earlier, I too am going to diversify and add a fifth option into the bag here. So I'm going to go Solana. Solana, one of the prominent blockchain platforms out there. I did a little research on this one, and I know we all have some interest in Solana. I'm just going to pull the trigger and add to my position. I really wanted an excuse to buy more of it. And I think that anytime there is Bitcoin and Ethereum gains, so if things start to go up in the next week or two, Solana disproportionately grows more than any of the top 10, at least in the last several months. So I went back and looked at gains and try to do a little bit of homework, to the best of my ability. And it's also a project that is legit long-term. It's here forever. People are building on it like crazy. And apparently it boasts the fastest, one of the fastest, if not the fastest transaction times, and how many they can do, I think in a second, like 150,000 transactions in 1 second. So it's very fast. People like it. It's super inexpensive. And I wanted to add it. So I think I bought it just under $34, and it should be nothing for it to go back to 40 if we see a little bit of a bump, which, is a nice 10-15% gain, which I'll absolutely take. And I'm also banking that AMP in the next few weeks continues to slide a little bit. And if I could stay steady with a good bag, maybe Stu slides a little bit more, there's a chance.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Just throw it all up against the wall, Jeff. Something will eventually stick. As you were talking, and I didn't mean to not be paying close attention, but I was looking at your 5 now holdings, and you have literally half of the alphabet sitting in your portfolio, and damn if the one letter that's missing is a W. And keep picking and just throwing stuff to the wall. Again, none of that includes a W, and that's all you need to know. So again, throw the letters up against the wall. Some of it might stick, but in the long term, the one letter you're missing is the one that I'm going to be getting in about 3 weeks. Good pick.
I like it. Don't trash it.
Well, that's a setup for me. What's Rafferty going to do? And man, I'm telling you what, I had a pick in mind, but it's difficult because, as Stu has alluded to, he's so far ahead right now. We got to make some long shots. I mean, that's the only way we're going to get back in this thing. My initial guess was to add another coin to this mixed bag of garbage, and I was going to throw in some stellar lumens because they seem extraordinarily low right now. They're sitting about a quarter. Now, here's the thing. I realize if that goes up to 30 cents, 35 cents, it doesn't really do me any good even, right? Because that means probably it's doing that. It's going to be riding the wave. The rest of the market's going to be increasing. And so it's not going to help me catch up enough. I'm going to have to just double down again. And I know this is like a sign of abuse. TEL is down. TEL is floating around 2 pennies.
You're making
right
decisions based on having to chase. I love it.
That's right. I'm making my decision
based on having to chase one guy.
That's
I
right.
like it.
And the only way I can ever catch up is to get something that's extraordinarily valuable in the short and medium and long term. And granted, it had a rough week. But that just means I can get it for a discount this week. So I'm getting 25 more bucks of that tail bag. And I I'm going to catch up with you. I do think that this good news about Tell is going to break. And you say you're going to get to 6 cents. Okay, you can get to 6 cents. If I get to 5 cents, all-time high for Tell, by the way, I think was 6 or 7 cents. So if I can just get to 4.5, 5 cents, I think I would make. I think it'd be neck and neck, man. I'm just telling you, I'm coming for you, dude. I am.
This discussion's absurd.
I'm coming. So yeah, man, crypto is fun. We hope you enjoy this nonsense, and we're gonna keep doing it. And we're gonna maybe bring on some guests. We love your comments. Please, email us at buyguyscrypto@gmail.com. Drop a like, drop a comment. Remember, folks, in the lottery, you got to play to win. In crypto, you got to buy to fly to the moon, baby. Woo! Till next time. Peace out.